Hey everybody. By the time you're watching this, I'll be up in Pittsburgh spending some quality time with my mom, who's 88. Also, we came up a few days early because my Uncle Bill passed away, and so we're going to be going to the service and then hanging out with Mom for a while. I'll be playing a lot of cards. She kicks my ass. So, Nightwing Year 1, great book, man. The first 40 issues by Dixon and McDaniel and an Anchor Carl story are just bulletproof. That's the greatest first few years of most modern books, even though that was almost 25 years ago or so. And then for about a year or so, Greg Land and I got to take over, and then we all went to CrossGen. And after CrossGen, went belly up. We came back to DC and Marvel, and Chuck and Scott talked DC into doing a Year 1, and because those just got so popular with the Batman Year 1 and all that, and they did a Batgirl Year 1, which is just stunning, and there is a Robin Year 1. I think Lee Weeks drew it, I'm not sure, but finally, you can get those 3 trade paperbacks. They just came out, and they're in the same format, that like the spines are the same. You could put them up on a shelf, something that he should have done 100 years ago, but I don't know. So anyway, this book kind of sucked after Chuck left. He stayed on a little longer than me and Greg, and so this came back, and I thought it was genius to have 2 acrobats who just happen to have the same costume. Total coincidence, because when Brian Stelfreeze created the new uniform, he didn't think anything of Deadman, because Deadman wasn't in like Batman's world, except for like Brave and Bold, and that doesn't count. Wonder Girl in her classic costume. Beast Boy is like destroying. He's destroying the kitchen, he's trying to multitask, making breakfast, and it's just crazy. There's a guy who looks a lot like Deadman doing his acrobatic stuff. And Dick just came back to get in touch with his roots, because he had just quit being Robin. This takes place after New Teen Titans 39, which came out in I think 84. So here he's lost in thought. Tough being on your own, huh? You can tell by the word balloons, it's kind of odd sounding. Away from the people you know has to be hard. What would you know about it? You'd be surprised, Boy Wonder. Da-da-da-da-da. And he takes off. See you around. Hold on a second. Did he call me Boy Wonder? I don't know why Scott McDaniel isn't on a monthly book anymore. He's better than most artists out there. He could do anything. Well, this guy comes down. He's not Deadman. He is Boston Brand's still very much alive brother, Cleveland. I like how he's stretching his leg. That's a really cool thing, touch. But he has the mask on. So he's mortal. So that was Boston Brand, and your Cleveland is, no, I don't have a brother named Pittsburgh or a sister named Miami. Sorry. Guys, whatever. I'll go to have a beer at my place. Dick remembers his parents, the Flying Graysons, got killed. Their trick was sabotaged, so they fell to their deaths. Here comes the boss, and she says, "I've been thinking about your costume, Dick." And she goes, "What do you think? Is that my dad? Johnny Grayson, Angel Without Wings. See now where Boston Brand got the idea for his Union suit. Stole it right out from under your dad, Dickie. Minus the pixie boots. Those were my idea. You like pixie boots? I used to wear pixie boots. Ask anyone. Dick, just so you know, I don't date the talent. Not anymore." So he's like, it's been forever since I had a corn dog and a funnel cake. And other stuff happens, and this little girl comes up and gives him advice, out of focus advice, and then Melissa got to run. So when he drops the possession, the kid's immediately back to being normal, and Dick Grayson is loving his going back to his roots, just having reliving the joy he had and also the stuff he went through to become a superhero. So Tiger gets loose. I know I'm jumping ahead, but I recommend it. Really good stuff. This was a memoriam for the great Will Eisner. So he added a few things to it, like the armbands and little other stuff. And Scott Beatty's a great writer, as well as Chuck. They make a good team, and they both worked on the Batgirl miniseries that for year one. This I picked out of the blue. I got it out of like the dollar box, and it's like 1984, and it's good. It's as good as any Marvel or DC comic that came out at the time. I just thought I'd say that. What is that crap? Anyway, cover by Steve Lytle and Jerry Ordway, talking about hedging your bets for like a great cover. And you know what? You know, the costume, of course, that's Kane's swipe, but that's really the only swipe you'll find in here. Bill Black has published Americomics for over almost 40 years. Rod Wiggum, who would eventually become, he would work for Eclipse, then he would work for Marvel. And then inks by Roy Richardson, who would go on and ink a lot of other books too. And nice guy. He's married to June Brigman, who co-created Power Pack. But you'll see, this is just really strong stuff. I mean, it doesn't look amateurish at all. And you find the origin of Bolt. Something goes wrong, of course, an accident. And I really recommend it because it's well written and well drawn and well inked. So just something a little different. You know, I mean, there's superheroes all over the place, but when you go back to this era, there was just a lot of stuff, but there were also some great small publishers. And they generally didn't pay well, but, you know, it's like the farm team. You end up, with the big leagues after a while. So, good. I really like it. I recommend it. Let's see. I don't know who did. This is a backup by somebody else. It's Vic Bridges, who borrowed heavily from John Byrne, as you could see. He did a Freak Force for Eric Larson at Image, and my very first work was Freak Force #1's cover, where I inked Dave Johnson. I inked 50% of it, and Dave wanted to finish it, and that's okay. That was his prerogative. And then this is a book that could have lasted longer. Kurt Busiek, he's fanboy to the core, much like myself, as is Larson. I give Larson a lot of credit for staying on his one book, Savage Dragon. I don't read it, and I know it doesn't sell that great, but he went to Image, and he stuck it out. He wasn't doing #1s left and right. Same with Todd McFarlane. I mean, I don't read Spawn. I made the mistake of buying issue 300, and it was impossible to read. But, those two guys, out of all of them, I really respect. So they kind of go through the greatest hits. That's something Kurt Busiek's really big on. And I just love the Kirby-esque crazy foreshortening that Eric Larson's doing, and it's inked by Sal Buscema. So that's just like, I would love to ink Larson sometime. At the time, the series had a nice twist to it. It was brilliant. What happened was, their very first foe, Zarnoth, or whatever his name is, Xandroth, he cursed, in his dying moments, he cursed Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Submariner, and the Silver Surfer, that when there's when there's a threat that's affecting the planet, all four of them will teleport to that area, away from affairs that they're doing. They could be fighting somebody else. There's a plot where Namor is furious because Atuma is attacking Atlantis, and he gets taken away for this other thing. And first he blames Strange, but it's really complex. I love it so much. And like you got the Valkyrie, and she's got no real, personality. So that's like right out of, the Gerber stuff. I love the Silver Surfer by Larson. I wish he could do 2 books a month, because I don't read Savage Dragon. I just he did 4. He did some other, fill-in stuff just for fun, and just get that, scratch that back. There's the Headman, and I love the big old feet he gave what's his name, Morgan, who transplanted his head to a gorilla. And they all have different. And the cool thing about these characters, if you get the Marvel Masterworks that has the Headman story in it, it actually, all these characters, at least 3 of them, go back to like pre-Fantastic Four years. They were all like in these short stories where they got adversely affected by evil ambition. I guess that's what you say. Evil ambition. I just love the nuttiest foreshortening to it. And it's just a thrill. Love that coloring. Love that coloring. So, but then again, when they go to fight, the Hawk, Nighthawk and the others, they kind of get stuck, and but really tremendous fun. There's only 12 issues of it, and the last one is one of those silent issues they called Nuff Said. And the whole big rumor was that Marvel was still, they were still bankrupt. And people were like, "Oh, they don't want to. They want to save on lettering. They're having problems." And that's what Marvel wanted them to believe, because lettering doesn't cost much. It really doesn't. And so this is interesting. It is a non-Kirby issue, number 44. And however, you got our pal Keith Giffen, inked by Mike Royer, and they're doing a total Kirby look to it. And you got that great Mike Royer lettering that he was doing. And I haven't read this story yet, but I just love the look of it. It's so... Giffen started off as a Kirby kind of guy. He kind of took a little from everybody. I can't just say he was a Kirby knockoff. When he did Defenders, he did that, but... he's also, when he was doing some black and white stories, like the first Rocket Raccoon story, it wasn't Kirby-esque at all. But Giffen's just always been one of my favorite guys. Okay. Superman PSA. Back up by Paul Levitz, soon-to-be publisher or editor-in-chief or something at DC. Pablo Marcos and Steve Mitchell. David Kraft is doing the pencils. It's pretty cool, though. I haven't read it, but I will tell you what. Actually, I'll probably forget about it. And the last book is a book I just loved. Comics aren't like this anymore, man. It's like badass, man. You got these... I'm sure they're turkeys, but it's action. It's exciting. The colors are nice. You have Falcon coming to the rescue, and he goes, "I can dish anything these clowns up because I'm stronger than ever." And there's the eel, there's the plantsman, and there is the porcupine. He was a Human Torch foe. He was a Human Torch foe, and he was a Giant Man foe. So they really made, lemon zest out of lemons. So great. Got that good old Sal Buscema. Whoop. And Steve Englehart really reversed the book's fortunes. The book was really hurting sales-wise, and he fixed it within a few months. And John Verporten inks a lot of these, and he's got a strong, bold line, but it's not ham-handed. He's like surprised he breaks free. For some reason, I've developed incredible strength. Just love his... Oh, and this guy, he fought Iron Man somehow, the Scarecrow. So you got all these turkeys, but when you put them together, it's just such eye candy. It's such fun. It's such unrepentant fun. Well, they're going to break on this jewelry store, and here comes Cap. Bouncing off cars. He's taking them all on. He's knocking them a boot. Oh, the what is his name? The Viper, the original Viper. Oh, I don't remember where he came from. Falcon takes him out of the game. Oh, actually, he throws him against Plant Man. And Cap's like, "It's Red Wing, and anywhere there's Red Wing, flies the Falcon. Flies the Falcon's sure to go." Wait, everywhere that Red Wing flies, the Falcon's sure to go. Okay, for a minute, I had trouble with that. Oh no, Jordan, they're brothers, the Viper and the Eel. I really don't know when Viper started somewhere. I know later on Lady Hydra became Viper. by killing the original one, taking his costume. Anyway. Oh, hold on a second. He gets smacked from behind. Mr. Nobody hits the foul. You. And there's Lila. And what's interesting about a lot of this stuff is when I was reading this as a kid, you know, I'm pretty much a suburban kid, and this was like a new world to me, and it was educational, but it wasn't like, I can't quite describe it. It was just very inviting, I guess, is the way it was. Because, you know, he was a social worker, and I just thought it was great. And there was a lot of African American entertainment. Like I was just talking to somebody about how, Willie Mays just passed on today, and he had his own cartoon, Willie Mays and the Say Hey Kid. You had the Harlem Globetrotters. You had the Cosby Kids, which a favorite of mine, and you know, and they weren't in, you know, a pristine, perfect world, you know, and it was pretty cool. Well, this cowled commander, his secret identity is so stupid. But they're trying to break free from the gas. You're digging your fingers into forged steel. Bam. Jack, that was tree freaking tremendous. Thanks, but I'll admit now, your surprise is no greater than mine. Bam. Nothing better than Cap hitting somebody with a shield and catching it. So they work together. Good old Red Wing, and man, that is a great punch. Falcon's a super badass. And then later on, because he feels a little outdone by Captain America, he's like, oh, well, what do you need me for? Oh, hold on a second. Gotta get this flip done. Too badass. What happens is later on, he goes to Wakanda, and T'Challa gives him the wings that help him fly and cause him to fly. And that was brilliant. You know, and they were a good team for a long time. When I first bought comics, it was Captain America and Falcon, it was Daredevil and Black Widow, and I always liked that. And then when they broke and did like their own, you know, the others would leave, I was always kind of bummed, because I like the team dynamics, even if it's just two people. So anyway, I'll be back, and hope you like this. You got comments below, share them, tell me, fill me in on like where the Viper first appeared. I have zero idea, and anything else you want, and I will be checking those comments later, but I'm just uploading videos in advance. So anyway, take care and have a good day.